welcome to HBCU Delaware Talks. Thank you again for this opportunity to come inside of your living room. We talk about some good old things happening in Wilmington, Delaware, the state of Delaware, United States of America, and abroad if we have to. But I'd really like to talk to you about these historically black colleges and universities, about how much money we're not giving back to our schools that we need to give back. And I might joke about this a little bit, but I find that we go to our homecomings and spend all that money to fly out of town. We spend all that money to stay in a hotel. We spend all that money to party and have such a good old time. But then when we leave, we take that money that we spent and not leave anything with the schools. Why is that? The reason why the population of historically black colleges and universities aren't growing is because we will not give back. Can you imagine if each graduate of an HBCU gives $1 per paycheck back to their institution, how that could start an endowment? Harvard University or Harvard College has the largest endowment ever. They do not even think about student loans or anything. They take care of their students once they get there because they give back. College athletes, if you have a scholarship and it has gotten you through college and you graduated and you're doing well, give back to the college. You know, I mean, it's like they gave you free education, so I mean, just give back. And I know it's hard to give back because we struggle, but I tell you what, $1, you spend more than $1 when you wake up. So I am big on that. In fact, Ms. Ivan, can you run that slide or that presentation about HBCUs if you have a moment? Run that for me, please, with Roland Martin, so we can give the community a better understanding how serious this is and how important this drive is. Wilmington, Delaware. We have too many HBCUs here where we're not coming together. I invite you on the show and say, come on, you can have your own hour to talk about what you do at your college or what your college is doing. You're going to make me get an app, and I have an application right now on my phone, and I'm going to go through this app and talk about it. It's called HBCU Hub. So I'm going to go to a break right now and allow Ivan to run that clip. Thank you. Stay there.
All right, folks. Around 70% of all HBCU students rely on federal grants and work-study programs to finance their education, but it also matters when it comes to HBCUs that alumni actually give back to the university. Well, Florida A&M, their alumni have their national convention taking place here in the area, but one of the problems is that HBCU giving by alumni is extremely low. Let's talk about that right now with the national president, folks, of the Florida A&M University National Alumni Association, Lieutenant Colonel Gregory Clark. So, Lieutenant Clark, I got to ask you this here on this whole issue in terms of giving. And look, I didn't go to HBCU, but I've advocated of HBCUs on this show. I've spoken at numerous commencements on college campuses, and I say it all the time. I don't want to hear people talk about going back to homecoming if they're not leaving a check for the university.
I agree, Roland. I think we have an obligation to give. Certainly, HBCUs take us in, they educate us, and they send us out into the world. But for some reason, once we get out into the world, we kind of forget where we've come from. So we have an obligation. We should give back, especially those that have gotten scholarships from the university. They owe the university to give back and support it, and we just haven't been doing it. We got to do a great job.
And look, I understand when folks talk about African Americans don't have the same access to capital as whites. When you talk about college graduates, the unemployment rate for black college graduates is double that of white college graduates. But when we talk about giving, we're not talking about, oh, you're asking every graduate to give $5,000 or $1,000.
Right.
It's the people who don't even send back $1.
Hello.
Not even $1.
Right, right. And they don't do it. I take in point, we'd come to homecoming and we'd pay Delta Airlines to come in, whatever that costs. We'd pay the hotel, we eat, drink, we party, but we don't leave a check with the university and we go back home and think it's okay. That's unacceptable. And we got to do a better job of of giving back.
Now, the Florida A&M alumni raised $715,000 at your convention. Begins today in Baltimore. And so, but what is the percentage at Florida A&M of giving? When I had the president of Howard University on, he told me that when he came in, of the undergraduate graduates, about only a little more than 3% actually gave back. They now have the number up to 10%. And so any idea, what's the number at Florida A&M?
We're around 5%, and that's unacceptable for us. We got to do a better job. We're trying to push the narrative that you got to give, and we're putting some pieces in place within the Alumni Association to ensure we can get those giving rates up. Like I said, last year we did raise $715,000 at our national convention fundraising breakfast. We're going to try to do the same thing and better that on Saturday, but we've got to get better than 5%.
Julian Malvo, you're president emerita of Bennett College. They are facing a serious problem right now. I've gotten different people saying, look, university potentially could close its doors. I mean, I get those emails all the time. But look, you had to deal with that in terms of trying to raise money.
I called you one time.
Yeah, you did.
Put it on
I mean,
the
all of
radio.
a sudden she's like, hey, I need $30,000 in like a week to keep some students in college, put on a radio show. And again, I mean, how hard was it for you challenging people, graduates, to say, can you give $5?
Roland, the extent to which we have indifference, people will come and party, they'll come to alumni weekend, they'll spend all that money, but they won't give. Now, Bennett is better than many. We have about a 33% alumni giving rate. And the Hampton, Morehouse, Spelman, Tuskegee are among those that have over 30, and in a couple cases over 40%. But all too often, our people don't give back. And it's not, like you said, you don't have to give me 10 grand if you don't have 10 grand. But when I go to a foundation and say, I have an 80% alumni giving rate, that foundation says your alums believe in you.
Right.
And that's the thing, when you go in with 30%, well, what's wrong with the other 60, 70%?
And Lieutenant, that's the real issue there when it comes to corporate giving and the foundations. They're going to say, if the people who went there don't give,
feel it.
why should I?
Exactly. The giving rates have got to be up there. That's going to help us drive in those corporate dollars, and it's going to show the corporations that we do care about our institutions, and we just got to do a better job of it, Roland.
And I'll tell you,
You know,
this, folks,
Roland, this is a last gasp. This is a last gasp for black education because we have so much racism. We saw this young brother
Right.
killed. You know, so here's the deal: if you didn't go to an HBCU, adopt one and give to it, because this is where people have discretion. We can let your no good nephew in the school to get his act together in a semester.
Well, I'll tell you this here, and literally before the Bill Cosby allegations came back to life, I got a call from him where he was trying to rally a significant number of celebrities to do these giving days for HBCUs, and never came to fruition. But the reality is this here, anybody watching, I don't care who you are listening, you can send $10 a month.
To Bennett
Exactly.
You
to
can
Bennett
send $100. You can send $5. But if you're not sending jack, take your damn university letters off because you're embarrassing the university.
Amen.
Lieutenant Clark, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Thank you.
A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. Your hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me.
Get that, make that happen.
You get it? We have to give. I mean, $1. We're not talking about a whole lot of money. At Hampton, the Morehouse College is excellent. We have schools such as Cheney State University, Norfolk State, Delaware State. We have to give. We only have one HBCU in Delaware, and we probably should do something together. That's going to enhance the growth of our HBCUs. We have kids from all over Delaware going to HBCUs out of the state. They don't always get the support from different chapters. So how about if you all join the HBCU Delaware Coalition? Send $1 to the coalition, and we'll make sure that money gets out to kids that are really in need. You may have a kid that's somewhere in Louisiana, and and has a sick parent at home and can't get here. We have that fund right there where we could buy or purchase an airplane or airline ticket for that student to get home. So there's no big deal about going to HBCUDE.com. That would be the website, and donate $1, donate $5, donate $10, because your help is going to help somebody else. And I'm telling you, it is very, very important that we give back. a lot of kids aren't being able or haven't been given the opportunity to attend the college. I thank God for allowing me. So I want to help someone else. So any way I can, be it through education, be through, teaching kids how to read, write, do arithmetic, any way possible. Just being a positive impact in the life of a child. But enough of that right now. We'll come back to HBCUs. I have two lovely young ladies on the show tonight who are here from the August Quarterly Committee. I want you all to understand and know that August Quarterly is huge in the city of Wilmington. And we really need to take a grasp to or take a hold of the August Quarterly and take this ride. We have too many churches here that talk about making a change, or talking about kingdom building, or talking about bringing people in. But it just appears that a lot of churches are making a lot of money, and we still have a lot of homelessness going on. Can you help me with this? Now, there are so many churches on every corner in Wilmington, Delaware, that every single church should be a part of the August Quarterly celebration, which is coming up at the end of August. I believe that we should begin to start celebrating August Quarterly today. So, but that being said, I'd like for the ladies to introduce yourself in your own way. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
How you doing?
Doing well,
Oh,
thank
I'm
you.
so excited.
Very good.
I get excited when I see you too. I tell you, I do. So, can you introduce yourself to the public? Because everybody in the community knows you, but they really don't know you.
No, they don't. That's all right. I am Renita Rome Brown. I am a member of the Mother African Union Church on 9th and Franklin, and I'm the facilitator for the worship design team.
And I am Marilyn Monk. I am co-chairperson of the August Quarterly Festival Incorporated Committee, which we are so happy to have Mr. Washington as a member of. And we are delighted that you invited us to be on your show tonight.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And August Quarterly is huge because God is good all the time. And doesn't say all the time God is good. And if He gives you opportunity, and it's kingdom building through August Quarterly, we're building kingdoms. And some people they don't understand or they understand the philosophy of Peter Spencer. Which one for Bethel? Richard Allen. They don't know the philosophy of them. So because of that, people say, well, that's not my denomination, or I'm not going to support it. They forgot about these two important people. They kingdom built. It's all about building the kingdom, and we get caught on, or we get so stuck on, well, that's not the one that we support, but they all was God sent. So can you tell me a little bit about what's going on with August Quarterly that's right now where you are?
Sure.
Yeah.
But before he goes there, I think it's important, and you said that a lot of churches feel as though that's not my denomination.
Right.
But Peter Spencer and Richard Allen, they were about religious freedom. So in order for you to have the denomination that you have, especially in the black church, there was an effort put forth so that we could worship the way we like to worship, and no one ties our hands. So it started with what Spencer did for religious freedom, and that's important to know. You wouldn't have your church if it wasn't for that first civil rights movement.
Oh, well, that's interesting you said that, because now that they're the founders of religious freedom, giving you the right to celebrate God anyway, by any means, some people have taken it out of control or out of context. So, but we want to really look at the religious freedom. You know, and we have the freedom of speech, so we have the freedom to praise, and we have the freedom to celebrate religiously. Much more, what are you going to say?
We are very happy to say that this year we will be celebrating our 204th celebration of the August Quarterly Festival. It hasn't been easy. We know it wasn't easy for Peter Spencer, but he kept on and kept on so that we could have religious freedom. And if we could just get 2 people from every church in Wilmington, Delaware, to join on board with the August Quarterly, the last weekend in August, we start with a reflaying. We have revivals for a whole week. Then we have our festival culminating on the 26th and 27th, isn't it, Renita?
Yep, 27th is the Sunday.
Yeah, the 26th and the 27th of August. And if we could just get 2 people from all of the little storefronts, the big churches, our revivals, we have branched out, and our revivals are all over the city of Wilmington. So there's no excuse not to be able to come. We have some dynamic speakers and the wonderful August Quarterly Choir. Mr. Carter couldn't be here tonight, but they will be starting rehearsals, I do believe, next week at the Mother AU Church, 9th and Franklin. You can go to the website. All of the information is on there about the August Quarterly Choir. And to be truthfully honest, you really don't have to sing. If you come, Wayne will pull the music out of you. Wow. So Steve, you might need to come and hit a note, you know.
It's funny you said that because even on Marvin Richardson's show, she tries to get me to sing. You know, I'm going, yeah, I'm not going to sing, but I mean, I think I sing in church. But it was one time I tried to solo, and everybody looked at me like, well, what are, I tried to sing that, what was it, Floodgates of Heaven. They looked at me like I've lost my mind. And then I got a little embarrassed, and I was like, well, wait a minute, let me keep on trying. Then the Holy Ghost kicked in. Oh, and then God set the place.
You were free.
I was free. Yeah. And you know what, and I'm free now because if you could tell in my spirit I'm free, because a lot of people, they hold on to bondage, they hold on to things that bother them and wear it on their faces. I don't have the time. I mean, I'm a firm believer that what God has you to do, you do it. When God wants you to change, you change. But whatever He has for you is for you. We get caught on what He has for me is for me. I can't get caught on what He has for you.
That's right.
Because if it was for you, He would have given it to me.
Right.
You know, so it's a lot of, we all have a talent, we all have skills, and we got to utilize them, especially in our community where our kids are dying. You know what I mean? I mean, are they even celebrating God? Do they even have an idea? Our community, kids are dying. And then we pointing fingers like, well, how come we're not doing anything about it? But what are we going to do about it? That's what Joe Madison says on his show. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
We're not doing anything. You know, it's like, I'm not going to tell. I get it. I'm not going to tell because what happens is that you're afraid that they may come after you. But I know when I was coming up, like, I don't know any kids that really gotten killed other than Sheila Farrell. And that was years ago because of the Peachtree. But I don't know any kids. These kids today, they know kids that have been killed. That was unheard of when I was a child. And I can't understand why. And everybody feels like they have the answer. But if we have answers, how come we not collectively coming together? We talk about movements. To actually have a movement, we have to sacrifice. But nobody wants to sacrifice. So how are we going to have a movement? Nobody wants to sacrifice to move August Quarterly to where it should be. Why is that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't been involved as long as Marilyn Monk has. I've been more involved, I'll say the past 3 years.
Sure.
Because I saw where I could use the gifts God gave me
Right.
to lend to the organization. And sometimes I've never taken on certain tasks, but I'm like, okay, let me try. I'll reach out to this person, I'll call this person and do it right from home. So you don't have to take a whole lot of time. Get on the phone, your cell phone you carry around anyway, so pick it up sometime and call this office, ask for a donation, because that's something that we need a lot of this year, because it's not an election year. And believe me, it's more of a challenge this year to get the funding that we need to throw this big event.
Yeah.
Yes, one of the things that we really do have to expound upon is the funding for August Quarterly. We do not get a lot of funding, and we try to give the public and our guests the best that Wilmington, Delaware has to offer. So this year we are pleading. We have a GoFundMe page. You can go to our website. It will tell you how to help us. Or you can call come to the church, drop off a check. Just like you were saying for the HBCUs, when we were able to bring in the big name brand singers
Sure.
and to pay the money that we were paying, the park would be flooded. If we tried to charge for some of those same people, people wouldn't want to come. But we're still trying to give you the same quality, but we need your help. Don't sit back and say, oh, they're not doing this, they're not doing. We need your help. We meet at the PAL Center every Thursday at 6 o'clock. We usually take a break in September, but we start right back in October. We need your help. We need your support, prayerfully, financially, whatever you can do to make the 204th year of August Quarterly a success. We need you.
204th year, huh?
204 years.
And so we need 204 more people to participate.
Yes.
Come on out. It doesn't cost to participate, to be a part of it. I mean, it's kingdom building. We have got to flood the kingdom, and we got to keep kids living. We got to keep, Wilmington is ours. And we're losing Wilmington because we don't have family.
Right.
And we have to begin really to be family. We family. Even if I don't know you, I'm your family. We live in the same place. You know, and we got out of it. Everybody's looking at struggling. But struggle is good. Hey, HBCU struggle. HBCUs
Struggle.
came from August Quarterly, which is the black church, where the black college is established from. Why are we not able to bring this together and see what it's going to be like? What are we afraid of? I mean, we're not looking out for each other. We have altercations with each other that stops our growth, that holding on to stuff where we're not going to look out because I might not like you. I'm just like you. We got to stop focusing on our differences and focus on our similarities. We've been focusing on our differences forever. And if you look at difference as a mathematical equation, it's called subtraction. So instead of us adding, we subtract each other out with our differences. So something that's similar, we add together and we grow. Okay, we start. I got hype. We really have to begin to start looking at our similarities. Black people.
Steve, one of the things that I just want to kind of mention, over the last 2 weeks, we've had 2 festivals in Wilmington. If you've ride through the west side of Wilmington, you'll see that last week it was packed. It was packed, not only with their ethnicity, with ours.
Sure.
Coming here today, I had to reroute to get here because I couldn't come my normal way. Our chairperson, who is Renita's father, he can't even leave his house. He and his wife cannot leave his house this week. And these are paid festivals. August Quarterly is free. The only thing that we ask is that you come to the revivals, leave a donation, bring some canned goods to help the homeless. It's free. It is a free festival.
Wow.
Yep.
And
we're not going. And I'm not mad at the Greek festival.
Oh,
I'm not mad at the
no.
Italian festival.
No.
But if you look at the community and the love, because they're putting it in the community.
Right.
We can do the same thing. We keep depending on someone else doing it for us.
Right.
We can do the same
we can do it.
if we get out of that agenda, that a personal agenda that, what am I going to get out of it? You're going to get God out of it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? We keep looking at our personal agendas, and that's why we are not growing as a community. I was in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago or so, looking at their purpose-built communities. And it's growing from the cradle through college, where the community has the kids living together, going to the same elementary, going to the same preschool, using the same Y, going to the same grocery store, first, second, third grade, going through the same elementary, junior high school, and high school, and they're having their first graduating class this year. And they're doing successful because everybody said, you know what, let me sacrifice and let me be a part of this.
Right.
We got to sacrifice.
We do.
I mean, it's free. The August Quarterly, I can't express it anymore. I have a great time.
I do too.
You know, the hardest thing for me, get the HBCUs out to the August Quarterly.
Yeah, I know, because there's always a table at
Yeah.
the festival.
And-
But I don't see any Greek wear or any of
And
that
they look
kind
at
of
me, they
stuff.
say, well, if you be a little nicer on TV, maybe we'll come.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with being nice. You'll go to that Greek picnic in Philly.
Yeah.
You want to be all drunk in Philly, you're being drunk in the Lord in Delaware. I know I'm hyped tonight, but I'm always
That's all
hyped.
right.
So
That's
it
all
is
right.
what it is, because this is big and it's huge.
Yeah.
And it's been going, it's like the oldest festival ever
Yeah.
Oldest.
In the nation.
in the
It's
nation.
not just Wilmington, Delaware. We're
Wow.
talking about the nation. So,
Wow.
And we should be proud of it. That's what I don't understand.
We somewhere along the line, we have lost being proud.
Yeah.
They say it loud. And I'm listen. I have nothing against, I'm not racist or nothing, but you know, they used to say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. For some reason, it's not being said loud anymore. And it's nothing against any other culture. But we got to really embrace ours, and we really got to begin to love one another. We can't do it for some reason. What is holding us back?
I don't know.
We talk education. We talk finance. What is it? Our leaders got to let other people lead. It's time. If you had your turn, give someone else a turn.
That's right.
Millennials coming in, they said you're not giving them a turn. So what about our generation? We're not getting a turn either. So we have to begin to work this thing out together. How many millennials are participating right now in August Quarterly?
Yeah, I'm glad
They
you said
better
that.
get on it.
They better get it, because we have our, like, Friday night, the 25th
Yeah.
of August. It's the youth celebration, and that includes millennials and so forth. It's usually we have like a praise dance service or something like that. It's, from what I understand, I don't know all the details. The next time we come over on here, the person who's responsible and some of the young people are going to come on here to talk about it. It's like a discussion, a dialogue. What we want to see in the church, what we want to see in August Quarterly, because they're going to take over. We're going to be gone.
I hope.
Right.
So we got it has to keep going. So
And it doesn't take a whole lot of time. One Thursday, come out. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. We need you, Wilmington. We need you, millennials. Mount Zion Greater Harvest Ministries International. Come on.
Please.
We need. I speak that because that's the church I attend. Bethel, come on. You know, we can all do this together. It should be massive. And I'm talking about people from all over the Northeast Corridor coming to Delaware for this event. I mean, and it's not happening. What is going on? I go on vacation. Okay, fine. Go and come back. August Quarterly is all week. I'm excited about what's happening. And the only way that you're going to be able to perfect change is by chance you get involved.
That's right.
If you're not involved, you can't perfect change. That's the bottom line. I'm going to go to a break for about 2 minutes so I can run that Roland Martin, and we're going to come back again.
Yeah.
Because I believe you in the community really need to see what Roland Martin is saying. I need you to get it in your spirit. Remember that the HBCUs did come from the black church. I'm going to a break.
All right, folks. Around 70% of all HBCU students rely on federal grants and work-study programs to finance their education. But it also matters when it comes to HBCUs that alumni actually give back to the university. Well, Florida A&M, the alumni have their national convention taking place here in the area. But one of the problems is that HBCU giving by alumni is extremely low. Let's talk about that right now with the national president, folks, of the Florida A&M University National Alumni Association, Lieutenant Colonel Gregory Clark. So, Lieutenant Clark, I got to ask you this here on this whole issue in terms of giving. And look, I didn't go to HBCU, but I've advocated HBCUs on this show. I've spoken at numerous commencements on college campuses, and I say it all the time. I don't want to hear people talk about going back to homecoming if they're not leaving a check
Hello.
for the university?
I agree, Roland. I think we have an obligation to give. Certainly, HBCUs take us in, they educate us, and they send us out into the world. But for some reason, once we get out into the world, we kind of forget where we come from. So we have an obligation. We should give back, especially those that have gotten scholarships from the university. They owe the university to give back and support it, and we just haven't been doing it. We got to do a great job.
And
job with it.
look, I understand when folks talk about African Americans don't have the same access to capital as whites. When you talk about college graduates, the unemployment rate for black college graduates is double that of white college graduates. But when we talk about giving, we're not talking about, oh, you're asking every graduate to give $5,000 or $1,000.
Right.
It's the people who don't even send back $1.
Hello.
Not even $1.
Right, right, and they don't do it. I take in point, we'd come to homecoming, and we'd pay Delta Airlines to come in, whatever that costs. We pay the hotel, we eat, drink, we party, but we don't leave a check with the university, and we go back home and think it's okay. That's unacceptable, and we got to do a better job of giving back.
Now, the Florida A&M alumni raised $715,000 at your convention. That begins today in Baltimore. And so, but what is the percentage at Florida A&M of giving? When I had the president of Howard University on, he told me that when he came in, of the undergraduate graduates, about only a little more than 3% actually gave back. They now have the number up to 10%. And so any idea, what's the number at Florida A&M?
We're around 5%, and that's unacceptable for us. We got to do a better job. We're trying to push the narrative.
Back to you about the August quarterly celebration that is coming up. Oh my goodness, I'm excited. Ms. Fong, can you talk a little bit about the events? I'm just
Sure.
going to hold up this flyer here.
So it starts on, our opening worship services on Sunday, August 20th, and it's at the Peter Spencer Plaza, 800 French Street. We also lay a wreath at the grave of Peter Spencer and his wife. At that service, Reverend Dr. Charles Amos from St. Paul UAME Church will be speaking. And then the revival start on Monday, August 21st. The location is Ezine Mount Carmel on 800 North French Street. And we have Bishop Albert and Jarman Sr., and that's at 7 o'clock. All the revivals started at 7 p.m. Then on Tuesday, August 27th, it will be at Bethel AME Church, 604 North Walnut Street, and Reverend Aaron Moore is going to bring the word. Wednesday, August 23rd, the location is the Resurrection Center, and the speaker is going to be Reverend Alice Husser. And then on Thursday, the location is Cornerstone Fellowship Baptist Church. The speaker is Reverend Dr. Lonnie Rector. And then Friday is the youth celebration I was talking about, and that's going to be held at Mother African Union Church on 9th and Franklin Street. Then Sunday, the big day, the closing service at the Chase Center on the riverfront. We have Pastor Albert Morgan. He is known as God's mailman. He will bring the word, and he spoke last year at one of the revivals. He is so excited about August Quarterly.
Being invited.
I'm telling you, he is excited. So with him being, we contacted him to do the closing service. I can imagine how he feels this year to do that service.
Well, he's on Channel 28 on
Yes.
Sunday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I watch him. He's
Yeah,
very,
yeah,
very,
yeah,
very good.
yeah.
So
Now the dates,
go ahead.
excuse me,
That's
the
right.
dates that Renita has given you are the dates for the revivals and for the services. But we also, on Saturday, the 26th, will be our festival.
Awesome.
And that will be in Tubman Garrett Hall at the, Tubman Garrett Park at this time. We're hoping that the finances will come in so that we can continue to have it at Tubman Garrett. That will be on Saturday, August the 26th. Everything has not been finalized yet, but we are working on it. And then on Sunday, after the church service, you will be so revved up from the mailman. I still remember his sermon from last year. It was the fishes. And I tell you, if he didn't work those fish, I never in my life. So I can't wait for the mailman to come and bring it forth again. And once you leave there, please come down to Tubman Garrett. We're going to have singing, food, vendors. I mean, we're going to have it all. So please come out to the festival as well as to the revivals.
We need it. Our city, we need revival. We need
We
it.
need
We have to
revival.
get the city of Wilmington involved in this. I'm talking about city government.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
come on out to support
Yeah.
this, because this is like our oldest event, and I'm telling you, because of August Quarterly, because of the Black Church, that's where a lot of us we really have gotten our foundation.
We have.
We have to really embrace it, you know.
And don't forget the canned goods.
Oh, what's
We ask when you come to the services, bring a non-perishable food item, because Delaware has one of the highest rates of hunger in the nation. So we want to do our part to try to do something about that. And so when you come, bring some food. We put it in a barrel, and it goes to like a food bank.
good? There's a purpose behind this. Kingdom building, feeding people.
Yes.
Feeding people, then they could kingdom build. You see? So I'm excited. You gotta know I am, and I can't wait.
I
But
can't either.
but then again, that means my summer will be over.
Yeah.
And my summer just started. So let me hold back. But let's have a whole lot of fun doing this and just getting people excited. If you can get as excited as I am, that means a lot. That speaks volumes, because if you can catch, this is contagious, you know, my excitement. So if you can just feel some of this excitement and get on board, you'll feel better. If you just sitting in the house like what do they call it, a bump on a log, that's a problem.
Couch potato.
Couch potato. So get on board. So I thank you
Thank you
for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Y'all coming again next month, but it's going to be, we got to bring everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be
You
here.
know,
We'll be
bring
ready.
everybody. They have shirts that are going to be for sale, and you have to get a shirt. If you don't have a shirt, that's on you. But I'm gonna have one. I'm gonna have my shirt. I have my Norfolk State shirt tonight, but this is not St. Mark's. This is Norfolk State, by the way. Because I saw a kid ask me if it was a St. Mark's shirt. But I thank you all for coming on to the show.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you. I love you kindly and
Yeah,
dearly.
me
So
too.
please come back. I'm going to go to a break for about 2 minutes or so, and then we're going to come back and let the ladies take. I did it. Welcome back to HBCU Delaware Talks. Again, August Quarterly, great event that's coming up. I wish everyone, I wish you well, and I hope that you all come and support the August Quarterly celebration. HBCUs, we have got to support. We need to really try, Let's come together. I wish I can get each and every HBCU graduate, undergrad to come on the show at one time with all your HBCU para on so we could show a presence. One time Cheney State University was going through and I was thinking that how can we get together and go on Cheney, hold with all our para and stand on the yard in support and unity of the HBCUs. I have a little statistics that I want to share with you about some of the HBCUs on this app that I have. This new app that I've been looking at has a lot about HBCUs. Just give you some interest. I'll give you just a little bit of information about it. We got Alabama State, Albany, Allen University. I'm gonna go down to, let's look at Bethune-Cookman, which is a MEAC school. And this app gives you all kinds of information, and it gives you the grade, the overall grade niche. Now for Bethune-Cookman, we will look at the academics. They're at a C+ rating. Diversity, they're at a B. Athletics, they're at a B+. The value of the school is B-, but the campus life is a B- as well. And if we look at the party scene, it's an A. Look at that picture, and let's think about what we need to do to better prepare ourselves for school. They're in the NCAA Division I AA in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Let me go to another school. Let's look at Cheney. Is this Cheney of Pennsylvania? If it'll come up. Okay, Cheney University, academics overall, it's a C+. With diversity, it's at a B, and with the athletics, they're at a B-. So I'm just giving you a little bit of grades, a little bit of background about some of these colleges. When you talk about the value of the college, which is reported numbers, not unreported, it's probably the unreported, if they reported, it'd be higher or better. But the value of the college is at a C, the campus is a C-, the party scene is a C+. When we look at the Cheney of Pennsylvania, in 2017, the best of HBCU schools in America, it ranks number 52 of 77 with an acceptance rate of 100%, which is good. So that says that it's a good school to go to. Sometimes it's an easy time to get in school, but you're gonna have to bust your tail. And listen, if things were easy for everyone to get, everyone would have. So don't think because you get into college, it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be kind of tough. The application fee for Cheney State was $25. Students also applied to Cheney. They also applied to Lincoln University, Community College of Philadelphia. Let me look at another college. Let me go down to Delaware State University, our only HBCU here in Delaware. We think about Delaware State, the overall grade niche is, it's a B-. The academics, and we're talking about ratings, it's at a B-. Their diversity is at an A. Athleticism or athletics, they're at a B+. The value of the campus and the school itself is B-. And their party scene is at a B. Let's look at how it ranks. They're a part of the NCAA Division I AA. Delaware State's in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. They're down Dover on 1200 North DuPont Highway. Of 77 colleges, they rank number 13. That's a pretty good school. Their admissions acceptance rate is at 44%. So that means that you're not going to just get into Delaware State. You're going to do a little work, or you're going to really have to, buckle down to do to even get accepted to Delaware State. Let me look at another school. Let me go down to Hampton. We look at Hampton University, which is in Hampton, Virginia. Their overall grade is a B. In academics, they're at a B. In diversity, B. Athletics, they're at a B. The value is a B+. Their campus is at a C-. I don't believe that Hampton has a very beautiful campus. If you ever been there, it's over by the water or the shore. Their party scene is at a C. Hampton University is a private, not-for-profit HBCU. They're part of the NCAA Division I AA Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Now, 2017 colleges with the most attractive girls in America. Hampton ranks 32 out of 1,234. So that tells you there's some beautiful girls at Hampton University. And that's not the reason why you go to college. Some people do marry a college sweetheart, but that's not the main reason as to why they go to college. As far as the best HBCU school in America, it ranks number 8 of 77 schools, Hampton does. And their admission and their acceptance rate is at 29%. You gotta have some brains. You're not just going to Hampton and you're not a hard worker. You can trust me on that. And I know a lot of my friends that are going to Hampton, they are doing well. You could best believe that. Let me go down to the Norfolk State University, see where we rank or why a lot of kids go to Norfolk State. Well, when I think about Norfolk State University, the overall grade would be a B-. Academics, they're at a B-. In diversity, B-. Athletics, they're at a B+. The value of his education would be a B-. The value of the campus at a B+, and the party scene is at a B+. When we think about Norfolk State and how it fares as far as one of the best schools in America, or for 2017, Norfolk State ranks number 23 of 77 colleges. The admissions rate or acceptance rate is at 66%. So I'm giving you these numbers because we think about college and at times we want to go to college, but we don't think that it's going to take a sacrifice. We don't think that it's going to take perseverance. Oh, it does. So basically, you really want to be prepared for college. You want to do the best that you could possibly do in school if you want to go to college, if you plan on going to college. So bust it out, do the best you can. For the rest of you kids that are out on summer break, have a great summer. Enjoy yourself. Stay out of trouble. Read, and do more reading. Don't get caught out there not doing anything. Some of you looking at summer jobs. Well, let me tell you, the Summer Youth Program has begun. And there's a lot of kids, at least 451 kids, 500 kids that are going to get jobs this summer. Last night there was a very, very good turnout at Bancroft for the parent orientation. How do I know? I was there. And it was a lot of kids that are getting jobs. There are some that have not received paperwork for jobs yet. But if you haven't received any paperwork for employment, hold tight. It's not over, so it may come to you. I don't know for sure, but it may come, so hold tight. And if you happen not to get a job, find something to do this summer. Go to the library. Go swimming. Enjoy your family. Stay out of trouble. Learn. Be nice to people. Because a lot of times when we're mad and we're mean to people, bad and mean things happen to us. So we want to make sure that we're being nice to people. We want to make sure that we're doing all the right things that's going to prepare us for the future. We're in trouble right now. Delaware, we got to get better. We really have got to get better. We have to really start embracing our city, embracing the love in our city, helping one another to be successful. We have got to do it. I think I have a couple events that I'm planning or trying to plan. I'm gonna cross my finger, I'm gonna hope on it. I'm looking out to see if I can have an HBCU function somewhere, hopefully the Rodney Square, where we could gather and play a hopscotch, pluck our marbles, do the double dutch, have a couple of Greek fraternities, a Greek sorority step. Looking for something, hopefully, at the Rodney Square this summer. I don't know, but I'm gonna pray about it, and hopefully that some of these things can happen. I also encourage you, if you are an HBCU graduate, if you are doing anything positive in the community with your business, if you graduated from an HBCU school or even graduated college, it doesn't always have to be HBCU, it could be another school, PWI, that you graduated, please reach out, come on the show. This show is for you, it's not for me. Okay, I put it out there because I want you to get an opportunity to share what you have and give you an opportunity to talk to Delaware about what you have to offer. Don't hesitate to contact me. My email address is stevewash@comcast.net, and you can also contact me on Facebook. You can contact me on hbcude.com. That's the website. Go to the website, donate. Donate so we can keep this show alive. Donate to the fund so that we can send money to kids that are in need. I need you, Wilmington. I need you, Philly, Jersey. If you have an opportunity to reach out, if you have an opportunity to come on the show, please don't hesitate to do so. I'm on every third Thursday of the month at 8 o'clock p.m. So come on out, hang out with me. Show Wilmington what you have. And you know what? The great thing about me, I'm not even charging you. I'm just asking you to come on because we need to make this spirit of historically black colleges and universities grow. It's all about you. It's all for you. And I need you. And I thank you for allowing me to tune in to your TV set this evening and to your house. So thank you for all that you do in the lives of people. Have a good night.